Good morning here in the sanctuary. Good morning online. Welcome, welcome. I'm Reverend Karen Einhaus. I am the senior minister of this beloved community, and I am prepared today. I'm ready. Oh, wasn't it amazing that reading that Reverend Leslie shared with us? I don't know if you know that, but she wrote that last year. Yeah. So we'll make sure we put it into the newsletter, and then we will make sure we have plenty of tissues around when we read it again. Well, welcome, welcome. It is Mother's Day here in North America and also in Europe, which is different. In Father's Day on the other side is at a different date. Father's Day in Germany, for example, is in 2 weeks, and Father's Day here in America is in June sometimes, right? Yes. Yes, well, since my dad is in Germany, I know that one, so. All right, well, here we are, Mother's Day. So I have spent a lot of time on really contemplating on how I want to speak to this amazing day, this day that brings forth in each and every one of us emotions. It is a very emotional day. If you had an experience of bliss with your own mother as you came into the world, or if there had been challenges. And the same when we look at the next level, if we have become mothers, if we chose to become mothers, and all of the things that are really entangled with all of that. So I thought I would start off by giving us a moment to really acknowledge that. Let's just not glance over that, how emotional of a day today is. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. Wherever you are, just close your eyes. And let's together go beyond that barrier of right doing and wrong doing and circumstances, and really let's move beyond that and connect in consciousness with the woman that has given birth to us. And see if you can put aside any things that might be unresolved and just connect with the love that brought you forth. Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to come back into this room, because now that we have acknowledged that, I believe that we are ready to move beyond the physical mother, the mother who brought us into the world, and let's focus on and invite the Divine Mother into our experience. The Divine Mother, the spiritual mother, that which has brought forth all of life. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, last week I brought a little video clip of him, and today I have the transcript of his radio show that he gave in 1951. For those who are visioning next week, who are born in the 70s, that was quite before then. But as baby boomers, we remember this time. And this is how he started off his radio show. Friends, today is Mother's Day, the day when we celebrate the human love which symbolizes divine protection and tenderness. For just as we are cradled in the arms of mother love, so underneath us also are the everlasting arms, the great mother love of the universe from which we all spring. And that, beloveds, is what I want to talk about today. It's that love that has always been the divine feminine, the divine love, the divine mother that has always, always been. And particularly, I would like to have a conversation about us opening up to that love. Because we all know in this giving and receiving energy of the universe, there is always, always a giver. There's always, always love, peace, harmony, joy, abundance given forth. And what does it take for us to partake in it? We have to open up. We have to be willing to receive it. Now, I don't know if you remember the moment that you stepped into this sanctuary or a sanctuary like this for the very first time, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Because, and for many of you it is today, so yay. I love how that works out. I remember feeling a love and a safety and a warmth and a welcoming that I had never felt before. Because it was beyond that right doing and wrong doing, and I was so open. My heart was burst open that moment. And so that is the love that I want to talk about today. And how we can really position ourselves and support ourselves in opening our hearts even wider to be nurtured and supported and loved by that infinite love. How does that sound? Ready? All right. So let's start with this quote by Dr. Ernest Holmes. Whether it is the physical birth of a baby or a new invention, everything comes from one source and through one creative process. That is the very basis of our faith tradition. That is what we believe. That there is one infinite power, and that we are all vessels of that power and bringing forth everything we bring forth in our lives. You can think about it as infinite love. And the greater of a vessel we are able to become, the more love can actually flow through us. And that is the same truth with anything, with harmony, with joy, with grace, with power, any quality of the divine, because it is given freely. And so our part in this equation is really to have a look at where am I impeding the flow of this good in my life? Where have I picked up limiting beliefs that don't serve me anymore? And then how can I let go of them to become an even greater vessel for the flow of life? I was thinking about that, and I love this answer. It reminded me of about 25, 26 years ago, I joined a new real estate company. And I won't say the name, but this new real estate company was very successful, and I flew to Austin, Texas, to learn how they did things, because they did them very differently. And I remember that the very successful founder of this company gave a speech at the end of this meeting, and he said, I have really tried to narrow down what makes one successful. Is it where we were born, our education, looks, skills? And he said, I have found none of that is a predictor of success. You know what the predictor of success was in his estimation? To be more of who you are. To be authentic, we would say here in this content. But that's not what he said. He said, figure out who you are and then be more of that. And it is irresistible. It is irresistible to the world. And so, somebody is laughing about that. Yes. Oh. Yes. In other words, be yourself. Now, what is the human version of this? The human version of this is, I heard this a lot, Karin, just be yourself. Yeah, no kidding. What is the just in there, right? Like, that's an easy thing to do. So the Divine Mother's version of that is, be yourself. Be yourself. You know when we're really good at being ourselves? When we're babies and little ones, right? A couple of my grandkids are here at the center today, so when they come in later, you watch them. They are the very best at being themselves. No training. They just are. They're just like, ta-da! Here I am. So when we're very young, we are very good at being ourselves. And then later in life, I believe there comes a point where we get to be really good at being ourselves because, you know, we don't perhaps care so much. We have figured it out. In every life, there's a different threshold at which point it's like, okay, I give up. I am just going to be myself. People will think what people think, and that's okay. So the times we are very good at being ourselves is at the beginning of our lives and then at the end of our lives. But it's the bit in the middle that's a little challenging, isn't it? And so there, I believe, are actually 4 levels of self that we have to make our way through to get to what I like to call our true selves. And I would like to explore those 4 different levels. The first level is the perception. It's the perception. Think about it like you are the entirety of you on a USB stick, and it gets plugged in to a universal computer. It is all of the things that the world sees and thinks and has an opinion about yourself, right? That is the first level. It is where everyone projects their things onto you. And let's just take a breather, because that is not as easy as it sounds. It is not as easy as it sounds if we haven't discovered for ourselves who we truly are. Now, I don't think there's a lot of things that are gender specific. However, I do believe that women have a greater tendency to fall prey to mistaken what somebody thinks about them as their own self. I'm guilty of that. I can tell you, when I was in my 20s, I had no idea who I was. None whatsoever. But I had strong people in my life who had a very clear idea who I was, and they told me frequently, and that was what I tried, right? I tried to be the best version of whatever, usually a man, thought I should be. Not a grounded way of living. Because what we find out is at the end of the day, it is just their ideas. And yet we all deal with it. We all deal with it. That is the very first layer, that is the perception, and perhaps it reminds you when we talk about the 4 kingdoms, Perhaps it reminds you of the first kingdom, where we feel that life is happening to us, where we feel that we are the piece of wood bobbling on top of the ocean. And I think it behooves us to acknowledge that that is always present. Now, the way we can work with that takes us to the second layer, and that is this persona. If the first one is what people think about us, the second layer is what I would like the world to think about me. It is it is not so much faking it, but it is definitely showing the potential of me. And we all do that, right? We all bring forth the good things in us for others to see. It is truly what we would love the world to see and know about us. I hear a baby that is being very good at being herself. That's spirit. Now, this part of our persona, one of the things I think that's important around that is that it changes, right? It changes, and we want it to change. I don't know that anybody here in the room would be interested in being the same person they were 10 years ago. Or is there anybody in the room who's interested in being the same person 10 years ago? Oh, good, good. I'm glad. None of the hands went up. We are interested in changing. That is why we come to a center like this. This is the place where we come to, where we learn if you change your thinking, you can change your life. And that is why our lives are colorful, aren't they not? They're changing. People in it are changing. Because at the very center of our lives is this impetus to be all that we can be. And we have to learn it, and we have to figure out how to heal wounds that we picked up on the way so that we can become the woman or the man of our dreams. That is the work we're signing up for. And this area of the self really helps us to do that. It helps us not to become one of those people who say, oh, I have 15 years of experience in this, when they really have 1 year of experience and they just did it 15 times over and over. Right? That's not us, right? That's not us. That's not the center. This is not the individuals in it. We are interested in creating the life we want, and we are willing to try out things, and if they work, great. And if they don't work, well, then we'll try it again. We'll try something different. That is what the support of this center is. And so all of that, being aware of this part of the self, it helps us when we are clear with the next part, and that is our ego. Now, it doesn't matter how old you are, but I venture to say that up to now, you have worked on the right relationship with your ego. Because I believe that is what we all do. Now, what is the ego? You know, there are those mornings when you wake up and you are the bee's knee. You're just cool, you're full of joy, no idea where this came from, but I am full of it, I am ready, point me in a direction, I'm going to change the world. Do you know those days? Yes, yes. And then there are other days, and we wake up, and we can't even hold the phone up to call someone for help because it's so dark. And we can't find any words It's like the word thief has come by and taken them all away. And that spectrum is the ego. And the work that we are called to do is to find that place in the middle where whatever is happening within us or on the outside has no impact, because we know who we are. We know who we are. We are not somebody's boss or somebody's mothers or somebody's friends or somebody's enemy. We are beyond all of that. We are the I am, the true self with a capital S. And I believe that a place like the New Vision Center is here to support us on this inward journey, to help us walk through those layers of self and actually find the capital S self. That is what we do every Sunday throughout the entire week. That is the charge of a spiritual center. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, who was very interested in living true to his self, was asked by somebody, by a reporter actually, Gandhiji, what is your message to the world? What is your message for the people? He was getting onto a train, and the reporter just yelled it at him. And Gandhi turned around and said, my life is my message. Now, this is not just for Gandhi or Mother Teresa or any other person that you admire. This is for each and every one of us. Our lives, the way we live, this gift that we have been giving, that is the message to the world. And the Divine Mother always, always says, be yourself, so that something that looks impossible turns into, I am possible. When we allow ourselves to open our hearts enough to feel the divine love that is always there, everything becomes possible. Everything. So then, what is our charge for this next week? What are we to think about? Finding ways of being who we truly are. Perhaps letting somebody who knows you for a long time see how much you have grown, what you have discovered. Perhaps letting somebody whom you trust know, this is something I'm working on. I would love if you could support me in that. Find ways to be openly and vulnerably you. Because you is what the world has been waiting for. This is the time, this is the place, and you are the person. I'm so grateful we are on this journey together. Thank you. And now let's do what we do with all of this. We take it into prayer. We take it into the place where we commune with the divine, with Divine Mother, Divine Father, God, Spirit, universe, whatever works for you. I invite you to allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. Just recognize with me the love that is present here, that is present every place, all of the time. It is the Divine Mother pouring out love and grace, peace, harmony, and joy. And so we stand fully open to receive this love, this light, this peace, this power, this beauty that is life itself. And so from this place of deep knowingness, that we know that we know that we are one with the divine, I simply call forth that the love that is everywhere present makes itself known in ever new ways for all beloveds. The possibilities are truly infinite and being recognized as such. That the warmth of the eternal loving kindness of sweet spirit is felt. I speak a special word of prayer and all the beloveds who have placed the prayer request into our prayer box or on the online campus in the prayer click. For I know that there's nothing that is impossible in the mind and heart of the divine. And so I take a stand for it. I know it, I declare it, I know it is so. And there was so much gratitude, and so much love. I simply place this word into universal law, letting it go, letting it be, knowing it is done. We know this together as we say, and so it is.